Amidst the seemingly perfect canopy of South Africa's nature, a silent threat is spreading. In recent years, the country has faced its biggest challenge from invasive animals, especially the uncontrolled outbreak of wild monkeys. They are intelligent, agile, and increasingly reckless. Can humans coexist peacefully with them, or will this be the new war between nature and man? What do you think? At first, people only saw a few monkeys lurking on rooftops or in cornfields. But soon, they appeared everywhere in groups, destroying crops, snatching fruits, and tearing rice bags right before the eyes of farmers. For millions of people who depend on agriculture, it is a real nightmare. Not only do they take away their livelihoods, they also recklessly attack people, break into houses, ransack belongings, and spread fear throughout villages. In the eyes of South Africans, wild monkeys are no longer animals but real enemies. In the face of an escalating threat, as wild monkeys turn their fields into battlefields, the biggest question is, what will South Africans do to reclaim their lives?
Oh, he got you back!
Will they fight or find a way to coexist with these intelligent and cunning creatures? Watch today's video as we explore the bold measures and unexpected strategies being deployed to restore the balance between humans and nature.
And they're growing.
According to the latest report from the California Department of Environmental Protection, a threat is quietly spreading as more and more wild monkeys appear, moving between residential areas, parks, and farms. There are now more than 5,000 individuals recorded, but that number is just the tip of the iceberg. With a dizzying reproductive rate and incredible adaptability, experts warn, if not controlled in time, in just a short time, they could double in number, turning California into an unwanted monkey kingdom of humans. At first, people thought they were just a few harmless wandering monkeys, but then fields began to be devastated. Fruit trees were stripped bare, granaries were ransacked, and screams rang out in the early morning. Not only that, they brought with them invisible dangers, dengue fever virus, rabies, and a series of other pathogens. Their excrement flowed into streams, polluting water sources, threatening the health of the entire community. The monkeys have now become a serious ecological threat that is both clearly present and potentially dangerous to human health and the environment. Moreover, wild monkeys can become aggressive and attack humans. At first, only a few monkeys recklessly approached humans, but soon they started to attack for real. Screams rang out as their claws scratched the skin, leaving wounds that were at risk of infection. On the streets, monkeys rushed out unexpectedly, causing unimaginable accidents. They climbed electric poles, damaged cameras, even jumped on car roofs, snatched bags of food in broad daylight. It was no longer a prank, it was real chaos between the city and the wild forest. With each passing harvest season, California farmers sigh once more. The fields that were once laden with fruit are now left with only footprints and the shrill cries of wild monkeys. Uprooted trees, devastated crops, and ruined barns all add up to a horrifying figure: more than 75 million USD in damage each year. But the most painful thing is not the money, but the effort and sweat of the people that are swept away overnight. In the midst of that helplessness, they can only look up to the sky, praying that the monkeys will stop coming once again. Faced with a storm called wild monkeys, South African farmers are forced to stand up to protect their crops. But they are not alone. Wildlife experts are also involved with a strategic control plan. Among the devastated fields, traps are set, tranquilizer guns are prepared. The goal is not to destroy, but to control and temporarily subdue them, to remove them from residential areas, restoring the fragile boundary between humans and nature. In the blazing midday sun, cage traps were cleverly placed along the edge of the forest, where monkeys often come to find food. On the traps, golden bananas, ripe mangoes, and sweet papayas exuded an alluring scent. Each curious monkey approached, eyes darting, arms reaching out. And in a split second, bang, the iron door closed, a shrill cry echoed in the harsh sunlight. The hunter approached from afar, his eyes cold but restrained, completing his mission in the war between humans and nature. The golden ripe bananas, sweet mangoes, and fragrant papayas were not only bait, but also the way humans chose to avoid causing pain to animals. The hunters waited patiently, each drop of sweat falling on the hot ground. They understood this was not a game of chasing, but a challenge of ingenuity and humanity. In addition to the cage traps, large nets were set up, hidden among the foliage and sunlight. Each rope was stretched tight, waiting for the right moment. When the monkeys entered, the net closed gently without a gunshot, without bloodshed, only the rapid breathing of humans between the thin line between control and compassion. When they approached the traps and tried to get food, the net traps would quickly take effect and catch them. In your opinion, who really won in this confrontation? The hunters or the wild monkeys? Leave your answer in the comments. Not only relying on traps, sometimes hunters are forced to face wild monkeys directly. In the middle of the dense forest, they hide behind the foliage, clutching the tranquilizer gun. This weapon does not kill, but puts the animal into a temporary sleep. Everything is suffocatingly silent, only the sound of the wind whistling and heavy breathing. Then suddenly, a monkey's shadow appears on a high branch. The hunter aims carefully, his heart beating fast with each pull of the trigger. Bang! The bullet flies, tearing through space, opening a life and death moment between instinct and control. When the silhouette of the monkey appeared on the high branch, the hunter immediately tensed up. His breathing slowed, his finger gently tightened on the trigger. The sunlight filtered through the foliage, reflecting on the barrel of the gun, causing everything to become so quiet that one could hear the rapid beating of the heart. He aimed precisely at the chest or head, where the shot could quickly take down without causing serious injury. This was not a game, but a job that required skill, discipline, and a deep understanding of monkey behavior. A small mistake could put both man and animal in danger. The debate over the hunting of wild monkeys in South Africa has never cooled down. On one side, people are heartbroken to see animals being shot down, believing it is cruel and inhumane. On the other side, the government insists this is the only way to protect crops, health, and human lives. Between these two streams of opinion is a struggle between compassion for animals and fear of seeing homes and fields destroyed. Who is right, who is wrong, or are they just two sides of the same anxiety about wild nature? For the people of South Africa, the sleepless nights caused by wild monkeys have not ended when another threat has arisen: baboons. They are big, reckless, and destroy as fast as a storm. In just a few hours, the entire crop field was devastated. The hunter stood in the middle of the field, looking at the thick monkey footprints on the ground, his eyes mixed with anger and helplessness. He understood this was not just a battle to regain the crops, but a battle for survival between humans and wild instincts that never give up. What do you think about this hunt? Leave a comment below the video and subscribe to the channel to join the next hunt. They were no longer afraid of people. In broad daylight, the baboons recklessly poured down the mountainside, breaking down doors, ransacking kitchens, stealing food, and tearing up everything in their path. Faced with this situation, the South African government was forced to act.
Here we have some baboons in a
In the
kitchen,
Twain area,
just hanging out.
a series of emergency regulations were issued, allowing controlled hunting. This order was not only a measure to protect property, but also a clear warning: the war with the baboons had truly begun. The government's move is seen as a bold but necessary step in an effort to control the increasingly out-of-control baboon population. However, the hunt is not open to everyone. Each licensed hunter must adhere to a series of strict regulations, from the area of operation, the type of weapons allowed, to the hours of hunting. The goal is not just to take down, but to control in a way that protects humans while maintaining the delicate balance between order and nature. While the morning mist still covered the mountainside, the hunter quietly prepared. The gun was carefully cleaned, each bullet was carefully checked. Ranger knew that today's opponent was not an ordinary animal, but a group of intelligent, agile, and cunning baboons. Deep down, he was not happy when he pulled the trigger. Each shot was not only a forced action, but also a struggle between the responsibility to protect humans and the compassion for wild creatures. When the gunshot rang out, the whole forest seemed to hold its breath. One monkey fell, the others ran away in all directions. The hunter bowed his head, not because of victory, but because of the silence that followed. He understood that this was not a hunt to kill, but to balance so that humans could live in peace, and nature knew to take a step back. But in his eyes, there was still a quiet sadness, as if each bullet left a wound in his own soul. They are only allowed to use guns with silencers to limit the noise, avoiding causing panic to people and other animals in the area. At the same time, hunting young or pregnant individuals is absolutely prohibited, a humane regulation helping to maintain the natural balance and prevent excessive decline of the baboon population. But have you ever wondered why baboons become so aggressive and reckless? Due to increasingly scarce food sources and shrinking habitats, baboons are forced to leave the deep forests and flood into residential areas to find a way to survive. They no longer have a choice but to be hungry, and their survival instinct has made them more reckless than ever. From sneaking around to find food, they are now willing to break down doors, attack people, and steal anything edible. A tragedy is unfolding as the boundary between the forest and the city gradually disappears. What do you think about this story? Please share your opinion in the comments section below. We would love to hear your views. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to look forward to the dramatic, breathtaking, and surprising videos waiting for you ahead. We are facing an enemy as silent as a storm. Streets, fields, all can become battlefields overnight when wild pigs invade.
So what Bobby's gonna do is he's gonna take the feeder.
Millions of dollars in damage are being levied on America. And now hunters are taking on the responsibility, carrying with them the faith, the fear, and the desire to protect their communities. Do you have the courage to join them? In Texas, the feral hog menace is growing, not only destroying farmers' crops, but also wreaking havoc on infrastructure, from sleepy suburbs to bustling city centers. With wild instincts honed over generations, they leave behind economic damage amounting to millions of dollars. Small grocery stores, family-run eateries, and even busy restaurants are struggling as the invasive species disrupts daily life. Not only destroying crops, wild boars also rummage through garbage piles, turning residential areas into stinking battlefields, posing the risk of disease. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, the feral hog population in Texas is increasing by nearly 30% each year, causing a staggering 1.5 billion USD in damage. Despite the government installing sealed trash cans, the numbers continue to climb. Each video is a new journey of nature and survival. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.
Down. I mean, they're right here.
As feral pigs became America's nightmare, the silence of the Texas cornfields was suddenly torn apart. A chilling screech rang out, and in a flash, the giant net trap snapped shut.
I do not like this net. It is not safe.
In just a few seconds, the herd of ferocious wild boars were trapped, their roars echoing in the dark night. That was the moment humans regained the initiative against this brutal invasive species.
They get under this thing and in it, and then they can't get back out.
This was not a staged action scene, but a harsh reality that happened every day. It's part of a never-ending battle for American farmers who must stand up against the country's most aggressive and dangerous invasive species. For them, every night is not just labor, but also a battle for survival. Why can a seemingly rudimentary net replace rifles and even helicopters in a multi-billion-dollar-a-year agricultural crisis? The answer is hidden behind that seemingly simple trap. From Texas to Missouri, semi-automatic traps have become the strategic weapon of American farmers. With no ammunition, just precise timing, they can take down a herd of wild hogs in the blink of an eye.
Plenty of food left in the trap. Directions. Alright, she's baited and set.
With just a round net, a sturdy steel frame, and a secret bait of fermented corn mixed with gelatin, the seemingly simple trap becomes a nightmare for wild boars.
Thin. We're loading them. You have the hog whip.
The scent spreads, luring the whole herd closer. But this is no longer a primitive trap. Modern technology has turned it into the ultimate weapon. Motion sensors, infrared cameras, and remote activation via phone. With just one signal, the whole ferocious herd is immediately caught in the net in a split second. Surprisingly, the net traps work best at night when the wild boars are most aggressive but off guard. The success rate can increase by more than 50%. And unlike guns and bullets, net traps are not only a tool, but also a humane option. Instead of killing them on the spot, they capture the herd alive, keeping them safe before being transported to invasive species control centers. Do you think net traps are the most humane and intelligent way to deal with wild boars? Leave a comment below.